Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Wasteland 3, where, as you can see, we have expanded the team a little bit. So it turns out, a party has 6 character slots in it, and they only let you fill 4 of those with recruited, player-created characters. So you still have to care about the world and the people in it a little bit in order to be able to actually build out your party, which I think strikes a nice balance between you having control of your mechanical direction and still having to actually play the game a little bit, socially speaking. So let me introduce you to our new party members. First up here we have Ringer, the level 3 combat medic. I like that it applies a little title based on the skills you've taken here. It's sort of figured out his thing. Ringer's sort of a medic. More precisely, you might say veterinarian. But in his words, people are just like small, mean cows. You know, all the organs are basically the same. So he'll figure it out as he goes. You can see I gave him those glass knucks we found earlier because Ringer is good at punching people and good at fixing living things. He's very living things focused. That said, you know, sometimes you still have to wield a gun. So a couple of points of small arms, just a smattering of other skills that we didn't really have covered. We have that leg thing, so I figured somebody should have armor modding so we can actually apply that to somebody's leg armor. And very strong, very smart, of course, he's a doctor. Got some coordination. I took Varangian blood because I figured he's very into the things that he likes, being alive, and he becomes enraged when that is in danger. And his background is just, punch people real hard. I had to turn off the display of chest armor. I built him up, then I was like, oh hey, now we have a person who has enough strength that they can wield that metal armor we found. But look at this. It's terrible. It's a travesty. He looks like a sideways Triceratops. So I thought, this is a much subtler look. And then our final new recruit is Brass, who insists that she is a very advanced meat robot, and who are we to argue with a gun of that size? Brass is an explosives expert, which means, yeah, explosives, and also big guns, and also, she's a robot, so she's got to know things about fixing robots, obviously. Yeah, I definitely did just build some characters who have the skill points necessary to resolve the problems that we've already seen inside the base. Listen, they knew you were going to do that. They built it. They built the system this way on purpose. I feel no remorse. So Brass is kind of a similar build, very very strong. I assume that the big guns will require a lot of strength to wield, and then just some coordination, a little bit of luck. We'll see how things work out. So I built a bunch of characters here who kind of want to be up close in combat, and my plan was to have the last slot in the party be a created character who is like a sniper rifle, long-range fire support kind of thing, and that's how I found out you can only have 4 created characters in the party. So this is how we're rolling for right now. In addition, Brass is heavily armored on account of being a robot, obviously. Still, not really any context for what +6 armor or -0.4 speed really means, and bonus damage to robots and vehicles, because, she knows how they work, being one and everything. They put in this hair that looks so metallic, I almost couldn't not use this concept. Anyway, that's who we are. I think we're ready to roll, and also Major Tomcat is still here, hanging out with us. So, let's real quick go and solve some of the problems in the base that we could not solve before, that we can, now that Sergey has provided us with these stellar recruits. I didn't give anybody advanced lockpicking, so I figure that's a problem that we will let Ratty or Jim solve. I really like him being the lockpick guy. But we now should be able to do this. Let's talk about this desiccated husk of a man. Search for a cause of death. Looks like a simple case of starvation and dehydration, but the corpse's ankles and wrists show some scarring, as if he was chained up for a while. We're getting little bits of XP. How much do we need for the next level up? Also, is everybody's XP different? Yes. Okay, so the new people came in right at the level barrier, and then when we see a little XP gain for skill usage, it looks like it's only the character who actually used the skill who gets the XP. Granted, it's a small enough amount that it probably doesn't matter much. What about this one? So, the Icarus one. Let's search for a cause of death. Looks like the missing arm had nothing to do with the woman's demise. It had been expertly removed and stitched up long before she died. Instead, she seems to have died of an infection or illness. You notice the same scarring on her ankles and wrists as on the other corpses, most likely from manacles. The torn skin suggests they were frequently moved. Oh, interesting. There is further information to be had. Is this just going to be the same? Yeah, it's the same text. Okay. Well, let's check this out. These people died in a variety of ways, most of them violent. Bullet holes in one, a crushed skull on another, a cut throat on a third. They all have the same scarring on their ankles and wrists as the other corpses, most likely from manacles. The torn skin suggests they were frequently moved. So do we have another... No, okay. Hold on, this person is a separate interactable. Oh, interesting. Found this note under a body in Ranger HQ. It is heavily creased and stained with the blood of its previous owner. And what does it say, I wonder? Can I... Yeah, read. Rush order from ST, drop whatever you're doing and round up 6. Late 10, early 20, preferably F, and most importantly, in good health. Oh, I don't like that set of descriptors. The last batch we sold him didn't last a week. If we disappoint him again, there'll be consequences. Rush order from ST. Colorado Springs is awash in refugees right now. I'd start hunting there. Marshals won't care if a few go missing. There are probably more than a few families that will gladly hand over a daughter if it means one less mouth to feed. Once you got all 6, take them straight to the track. ST will pick the best 4, and you can bring the others back. Should have a buyer for them by the end of the day. LP. Alright. ST and LP. Let's try to remember. It may surprise you to find out, broadly, anti-slavery. I have a real problem with slavers. We're going to make sure that some costs are exacted upon them. This one looks like he died from exposure to extreme cold. Scarring, or at least that's what took his extremities. Scarring indicates this may have happened multiple times over several years. But it wasn't the cold that killed him. Open wounds across his back indicate he was whipped to death. You also find the same scarring on his ankles and wrists as on the other corpses. Looks like these people had been trafficked by slavers. Well, that is a, Okay, this just cannot be lockpicked. I wonder, did we actually investigate this? I don't think we did. The door guarding this vault is enormous and recessed into the walls, floor, and ceiling. It appears that it can only be opened with the numeric keypad on the wall several feet away. Enter a keycode at random feels unlikely to work. I mean, we'll try it once. You start pressing buttons, but you don't even know how many numbers there are in the sequence. Every time you press enter, the display clears, and the door shows no signs of moving. Yeah, I kind of figured that that wasn't going to work. Maybe eventually we'll be able to blow it open. So, from the fact that I made Brass an explosives character, you can probably tell I decided we're going to steer Skelly away from explosives and just toward, basically, flamethrower type weapons is my hope. I don't know if that's actually a thing you can do in this game. I don't know if there are a lot of fire weapons that are appropriate, but... Alright, Brass should be able to make short work of these things. Not that it matters too much. Hey Jim. Get over here and fix this, would you? Is he coming? Jim? Buddy? What do you mean out? Yeah, you're out of range. Just walk over there and do it, though. Really, I gotta... Okay. I feel like he could have interpreted that as walk over there and pick that lock. Right? Doesn't that feel like him being just difficult for no reason? See, Brass understands. Okay. Show me some grenades. Show me a single grenade. I mean, grenades are pretty powerful. I get why they're being stingy with them. Alright, I think that is all that there is to gain from our current skill set. We gotta come back here when there's some more lockpicking to do. Actually, hold on. Was there a skill prompt on the robot? I don't remember. Yes, there was. Mechanics 3. Let's try to repair it. I'm assuming we will find that we need some parts, and that eventually, if we follow this questline far enough, we get to have this thing as a party member, which seems like it would be fun. Peering inside the quivering robot's casing, you find a lot of salvaged parts and new wiring. Someone's been working on this robot for a while. There's a bad connection to the power supply, strong enough to give someone a wicked shock. It takes some careful work to repair the connection. As soon as the short is repaired, the robot sputters to life. It turns a cold, unfeeling optical sensor toward you, and its weapons spin up. Oh. Oh, really? Well, I feel like I could have maybe seen this coming. The good news is... nothing. This is bad. This is... I was trying to figure out some good news. I can't find it. I mean, one assumes... So, okay, there's a minimum functional range on this weapon. I need to back up to get a good shot. So, does the shield broken there mean that my weapon will penetrate just fine, or does it mean that I'm actually going to remove armor from this thing? Okay, it means that our penetration is just fine, because obviously it maintained all of its armor. Marshall's got a decent weapon, penetration 8. Looks like there's not necessarily any high ground bonus. There's also not any reason to get any closer than this, though. Okay, so for a big thing like this, you can shoot at it if it has even one... if your range circle includes even one of its squares. That's good information for the future. Let's grab Skelly real quick. Skelly's really far away. Okay, we can make it. So unfortunately, this thing is going to get to chop at brass a little bit. Nothing we can do about that. Jim is all the way out here, because I was not really expecting this to go this way, and I feel embarrassed about it. And then you... Boy, that's frustrating. Your gun requires you to move exactly too far away. Well, I think I'm going to have Ringer just run way up. Actually, penetration on his terrible gun is only 1. He's not going to punch the robot. I could tame the... Can I tame the robot? Probably not. I'm going to just run over to here. Both Ringer and Brass are considerably tougher than Jim and Skelly are. Okay, got a lucky evade there. Turns out that small amount of bonus luck I gave him totally ends up mattering. So is there a concept of attacks of opportunity? Am I allowed to just... I just stepped away from it last round, right? So... Can we do better than 61%? We cannot. Okay, well that's not really how I thought that was going to go, but fine. Yeah, I would like to interact with the thing. There we go. Slicer Dicer Self-Assembler. It's missing a couple subsystems, but this is basically mostly an entire Slicer Dicer. It puts itself together correctly, like almost every time. Oh. It's... Okay, it's a throwable one of these. That's wild, that's a thing that exists. Is it single use? I would assume it's single use. I mean, still, seems pretty good. We got, ooh, a pulse gun. So bonus damage versus robots, vehicles, and synths, but a little bit less damage against humans. Or against biologicals. It takes energy cells. And also we got a crushed heatsink. Okay, there's some cool stuff in there. Obviously it's going to be a minute before we have 7 mechanics, but I think we now have a mechanical direction for Brass to head in. And then we'll come back here and open up the trucks once we have the lockpicking skill. So I guess for the moment we're just done. Did this body have a first aid option? Yes. The body's unnatural position suggests some kind of seizure. There are signs of discoloration on her face indicative of heart failure. A heavy metal spanner is gripped tightly in her right hand. The metal is discolored and scorch marks blacken her fingertips. It looks to you like a textbook case of electrocution. Alright, well that's a little more XP. And then I guess with that, we are actually done here, right? So let's go do some actual work. I'm really curious if that plot line with the mushroom guy is actually going to go anywhere. Sergey, you got anything else to say to us before we go?
Good to see you.
Oh, well, we have some things we can say to you. If you're going to be our chief of security, we want to know more about you.
Happy to tell you what you need to know.
You've served with the Patriarch for so long. You must like him.
I do indeed. Some folks can't get past his brusque ways, but that's just the impatience of a man who knows what's right, dealing with fools who don't. He cares too deeply about the well-being of the people of Colorado to let political courtesy slow him down. Of course, you'll hear a lot of folk condemning him for hurting this group or that group with his decisions. But the way I see it, they should be glad it wasn't them who had to make the choice.
Okay, so a lot of deflection of responsibility from dear leader here. All right, what's your story?
Well, came here with my folks when I was a kid, and was a young man when Saul was trying to unite the families and make Colorado a state. I got behind him right away. He had leader written all over him, even back then. I've served at his side ever since, fighting against the monster army, consolidating power here in town, helping him expand our borders.
What Mr. Greatsky means is that he played a key role in many of the Patriarch's greatest victories. And he had no small part in making Colorado what it is today.
You're too kind, Darius. Well, the fighting's never really ended. Trying to hold it all together is a constant struggle. This business with his children is just the latest in a long line of troubles.
All right, will you tell us some stories about your days fighting beside the Patriarch?
Stories? They are stories indeed these days. I've told him so many times all the truth's been wrung out of him. Now, let's see. Here's one. So, one day we were hunting monster army raiders and came upon a tin-walled shack. The people inside were shooting at us and not answering our calls to parley. Well, I got sick of that real quick and unslung my rocket launcher. But Saul, he holds up a finger, then creeps around behind the compound. Well, pretty soon we hear him smashing through those tin walls with his hammer, and then comes two high-pitched screams. A few moments later, he comes striding out, carrying a child under each arm. They've been shooting at us because they thought we were coming to eat their dying parents. Now, I will never know how Saul knew it was kids in there rather than raiders, but somehow he did. And we brought them and their folks back to the city and helped them out until they got well again. And he's always been like that.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty compelling story.
An uncanny ability to always do the right thing.
Got any more?
Give me a while and I'll see if I can remember any more. In the meantime, I'm sure you have plenty to do.
Okay, so we get a story meted out to us every so often. Can we ask him about anything else?
What's on your mind?
No, okay.
I'll be here.
Alright, where is my... Nope, that's not the button. Here we go, mission log. Alright, so we know the sheriff wants some help. We know we gotta recruit people, and it was implied to us... No, it was expressly stated to us that the sheriff might be a good way to deal with this situation. And then the game recommends maybe we wait a little bit on the other people. Yeah, alright. This'll be us then. So all we gotta do is just walk out the gate, right? And then we're in Colorado Springs. Oh hey, Jody's looking better.
I need to rest a spell. Catch my breath. Later.
Never mind. Apparently she's just fine. Apparently she's not just fine. She looks just fine. Apparently I've been deceived. I want to go talk to the car. Hold on. No, I don't actually want to leave. I just wanted to talk. Let's just take the footpath to Colorado Springs. I didn't realize that that was how we were going to do it. I was just curious if the AI was like a chatty AI. It did greet us as we approached. Patriarch's marshals keep the peace, and sometimes they keep a piece for themselves as well. Ah, that's clever wordplay, loading screen. I think they've done a really good job of crafting a situation here where I legitimately don't know what to expect from people. Like, I'm very back and forth on the Patriarch, and I feel like usually you can tell in a video game when a character is the kind of evil character you're supposed to not immediately believe is evil, you know? Okay, so these things are zone transitions. That's what those are. Real quick, I'm realizing I don't actually know. Okay, you use the 7.62, which we've got a ton of. We have shotgun shells. He's also on 7.62. Jim's firing nails, which seem to be pretty easy to come by. Okay. It seems like we're in good shape on all of our guns. We don't need to be too careful with them.
How did those maniacs even get into the city?
It's not fair.
Please, you don't look like marshals. Do you work for the Patriarch?
You know what? We're the Rangers. I'm gonna avoid your question. We're the Rangers. We work for anyone who needs our help.
And my boy needs your help. He's going to be executed. And they won't listen when I say he's no killer. Judge Watkins has sentenced my son to die. Austin is all I have left. Everyone else died on the plains. He's a good boy. He never hurt anyone. I'm sure of it. Please, maybe Watkins will listen to you.
So, what happened? Why was he sentenced to death?
I don't even know why he was rounded up. He won't tell me. Says he's embarrassed. I know they caught him doing something wrong, but he says he never hurt anyone. If you talk to him, maybe he'll tell you what happened. Sometimes it's easier to talk to a stranger than your mother. I know that much.
Well, depending on what he was doing when he got rounded up, I could definitely see how that might be the case. So, who's your son? I'm assuming one of these two up here.
Austin Pease, the skinny boy up on the platform. I can't imagine he killed anyone. We've seen enough death on our way out here. He never wanted to hurt anyone. Ever.
Okay, and what's your story? Seems like a weird time to ask this, but...
Our family escaped the wars in the East. Tried to make our way across the plains. My husband, my other son, my daughters. One by one, picked off and killed. Now it's just the two of us. And I'm gonna lose him too.
Okay, I mean, we gotta try, right?
Help my son!
Let's go...
Like that welcome party at the lake!
Okay, well, that's a Dorsey, for sure. Which one of you guys... Yo, what is going on with that guy's hand? What do you have there, my friend? Alright, hold on. Before we talk to Watkins, I want to talk to the kid. Oh, Austin, you. Not even one of the bound-up ones. The teenage prisoner is gaunt and pale. His hair is tousled and greasy, his face angular with hunger. He stares at the pillories with dread, swallowing occasionally. He sees you staring at him and snaps back to reality.
Sorry, I didn't mean to ignore you. Just got a lot on my mind.
So how exactly did you get in trouble with the marshals?
Made a real big mistake. See, the Plains gangs chased my mom and me off our land. We lost everything. Heard this was a place of God-fearing people and thought they'd do right by us. People here kept us out in the cold, letting us starve to death while they sat inside, warm and fed. Then the Dorseys came and gave me some food and some kindness and asked me to do some vandalism. I figured, what was the harm? I never killed no one, but I did bust some windows. Marshals caught me doing it, and they said I was working with the Dorseys. Magistrate agreed, so here I am. Mom would have talked me out of it. I should have talked to her first.
I mean, he just told us why he did it. What's your sentence?
Magistrate tells me it's death. They're gonna strip me down and tie me to those things. And they're gonna let the cold do its work.
So see, this is where my back and forth comes from with the Patriarch. It's like, he refused to murder children, and then he saved their whole family, but also he kind of crucifies people just for the hell of it.
I wonder if it'll hurt.
Wish I could tell you it won't, kid. But that'd be a lie.
Juan, not helpful. Alright. I mean, I'm gonna ask him for clarification. Why'd you do it? I mean, he already told us, but maybe there'll be more information here.
We were starving. No two ways about it. We were going to die. Dorsey's gave us food. I figured a few windows was a worthwhile trade for the bread and meat that saved our lives.
Yeah, it sure doesn't sound like the punishment fits the crime.
I thought it was too harsh. But what happens if I speak up now? Will they come after my mom? I can't take the chance.
Well, I'm gonna say goodbye to the kid for right now, rather than asking him about an escape plan. We're gonna talk to the magistrate and see
Nice talking to you.
what can be done. This dour man looks out at the pillories with an expression of grim satisfaction. His sallow skin pulls tight over his face, and his thin lips press together in a hard line.
Howdy, Judge. How's your heart? Still colder than a well digger's ass?
Marshal Quan, impertinent as ever, I see. Rangers, I am Magistrate Silas Watkins. I have heard of your arrival, partly from the confessions of the Dorsey raiders. You'll be pleased to know that I sentenced them to death for their part in the attack on the city and your convoy.
I think I would, for a moment of characterization here, we know that both Jim and Skelly are all about those guys were trying to kill us, hell yeah, let's kill them. I don't think that either of them would necessarily be into this thing. I think they'd both prefer for the job to be done. You know, it's not about the killing so much as about the having them had been killed. Did I verb that right? You know what I'm saying. It's about the job being done. So, what's up with the pillories?
They are the only instrument of justice we need. Serious offenders die by exposure. Sometimes I might grant a reprieve after frostbiters claim their extremities.
Cool, so you're really into torture. It does seem harsh.
Oh, to the contrary. It is more merciful than the punishments meted out by the mountain clans or the gangs of the plains. If we did any less, they would see our nation as weak. And in Colorado, weakness is death.
There is no more obvious sign of weakness than brutality or eagerness to do violence.
As much as we might long for the world before the bombs, when justice was not so cruel, that is not the world we inhabit.
That is a choice you are making, my dude.
And let's be honest, Judge. You kind of like it too, don't you?
No, I do not. I only do what the law commands.
Okay, so we caught him lying here, because his description was pretty clear. The first line of dialogue, or the first line of description when we talked to him, was pretty clear that he seemed quite pleased by what was going on.
And since you're the law around here, I guess you're your own boss.
I follow principles set forth at the second founding of this city, as you know very well. Without our laws and the penalties to enforce them, we're no better than the Wastelanders.
And you have no other punishments here.
For some offenses, we have a work camp on the plains. I don't approve of their methods, but it's outside my jurisdiction.
He means they don't do enough torture.
Minor infractions, like public drunkenness or disorderly conduct, are punished by a short stay in the sheriff's lockup.
I wonder what he feels is the appropriate punishment for causing people to starve. let's talk about something else.
Proceed.
Not that I know. Do we have anything else to... Hey, Austin Peace says he didn't even kill anyone. What'll it take to free him?
His crimes are still severe. He was part of the Dorsey uprising. He caused significant property damage. His actions diverted marshals from responding to reports of attacks, magnifying the harm the Dorseys were able to inflict. Argue a case, and I might show lenience.
Well, we don't quite have enough kiss ass to just sweet talk our way through this one. We could offer to pay for his damages, I suppose. This ain't gonna work. Hell, if we say this, Watkins might just order the kid's mother taken up too. And my guess is, Magistrate Silas Watkins is gonna dig deep in his pockets and find that he is all out of mercy. Yeah, okay, what if I paid for the damages?
You wish to compensate the city and the owners of the damaged properties for their losses. I can facilitate that.
I mean, listen, I'm not excited about the expenditure of resources, but there's a life to save here.
That's the price in Colorado dollars.
That's a fair number of dollars. Do I have that? I mean, I guess I have that. I don't know how. I wish that it showed me right now how much I have exactly. Is this... I'm gonna pay it. Okay, so we got 132 left. I don't feel too bad about that. He takes the money, writes a receipt for you, and jots a note in a battered ledger. He tucks the ledger back into his robes.
This is irregular, but it is within my powers to grant you full custody of Austin Peace. Any further infractions he may commit are the Ranger's responsibility. I would recommend keeping him out of trouble.
I do feel like we just sort of got suckered into paying ransom here, but, you know, again, a life.
You should inform the boy. Best he hears the good news from you.
No regret! No repentance!
The rest of these... Listen, I'm not into this whole pillory until they freeze to death thing. But I'm also maybe not going to go out of my way on this one. Hey, Austin. I have some great news for you.
Forward to what comes next.
We talked to the magistrate. He says he'll release you. Should be working for us now.
What? Are you serious? You really saved my life and I get to be a ranger? Soon as they let me free, I'm going straight to your headquarters. I'll do whatever you need me to do. Clean guns, scrub toilets, you name it. Thank you. Thank you.
No repentance!
I'm pretty glad that he wants to work for us. I was not super pleased with our only dialogue option there being, hey, I am forcing you to work for us. The fact that he's into it helps.
Dorsey lives! He'll kill you all! You Rangers are heroes. I'm gonna tell everyone what you did for my son. Thank
No
you.
mercy on your
Thank
souls,
you.
Colorado.
Alright, hold on. We're picking up all kinds of reputation and stuff. Let's have a quick look at this. So first of all, fame. The more you impact the lives of people in Colorado, the more locals will recognize you. As your fame grows, more folks will sign up to become rangers, filling out the ranks of guards and staffers at HQ. Okay, so this is a way that we can get people to come work for us. And then we're tracking reputation with various people. So it doesn't give me a lot of information on what neutral versus liked actually means.
Cornelius Dorsey lives. He'll kill you all.
Everybody's come to just shake their fists at the Dorseys, which feels like kind of a silly thing to do, given that they all seem to have their heads covered. Oh no, wait, maybe you can see. It's like, what's the point in shaking your fist at somebody if they can't even see you shaking it?
Taunt the prisoners all you want. They deserve it.
Yeah, there's certainly a streak of behavior running through these people, huh?
I hope you die slow. Mom? Oh, sorry. Never mind.
Hey, just a minute. Completely random person who I've decided is important enough to talk to.
Why? What do you want?
You were expecting your... I'm just gonna butt right in. I'm just gonna insert myself into your business real quick. Where is your mother?
I don't know. We were heading to Colorado Springs with a lot of other folks when we
got separated. I hurried here as quick as I could after, but I ain't found her anywhere. I keep hoping.
You got separated.
There was this smiling lady. She said she had some food, and I could take some back to my mom if I came with her. And next thing I know, she was gonna sell me. She put me in a cage.
Okay, that's interesting. I've already forgotten what it was that Mushroom Dude told us about the smiling lady, but he definitely said something about her. And how did you escape?
One of her men took me out of the cage to...
Ah.
I kicked him as hard as I could and ran. They didn't find me in the dark. And then I saw some refugees and tagged along. Stayed with them till I got here.
So, she has no idea where her mom is then. Well, do you need some help?
No, please, I just need you to go away. Please.
Okay, well, I guess, that's pretty,
Bye.
She's made a pretty straightforward case there that I should buzz off. Alright, just a bunch of nameless refugees. Whole lot of corpses in the fountain. The bodies of Dorsey, slain in the recent incursion, were tossed haphazardly into this frozen fountain, which cannot be good for the water quality. Alright, so this is just a dead end. What is this? So mousing over this doesn't actually tell you where it will go. Machine shop. If they're cool giving me the information right here on the map, I don't know why it wouldn't...
You got business with McTavish? Come into the machine shop. If not, then fuck off.
I guess you're expected to interact with it once to know what it does. Yeah, sure, let's check it out. I got use for machines. Penalty for breaking the law in Colorado Springs often means time in the pillories. In Colorado's freezing weather, this is effectively a death sentence. Unless the magistrate is really enjoying your suffering, in which case he might pardon you so that you may suffer longer. Basically, my initial read on the Patriarch was real negative, and then things keep pulling me in the other direction, and I keep wondering, am I being too harsh? Am I making unfair, prejudicial assumptions? And then we keep finding things that pull me back in the other direction. Ooh, this looks fancy. Machine shop thug. Are we going to get in trouble here? Because the only interaction we have available with this dog is to shoot at it, apparently. Are we cool?
We're busy.
I just want to... Alright, we're going to talk to this dude. I mean, I know he just said fuck off, but...
I said fuck off.
Okay, maybe perhaps we oughta. I do not think that we are in a good position to tangle with these dudes. We will come back once we either have a good reason to be back here, or maybe once we have a little bit more experience under our belts. Because listen, if these guys want to get aggressive, we can get aggressive in return. Just not right now, because I'm pretty sure I will get ventilated real bad by that turret. The thing is, we have borderline too many holes in us already. Certainly don't need any new ones. So we're supposed to be looking for the mayor, right? Did we get an indication of where in town she might be? I guess it ain't that big of a place, but... maybe there are street signs. We'll look for some signs here. Can we actually get into the... no, the alley is not accessible.
Extra, extra! Coward new in town? Did you hear about what happened?
This young man is still in his teens. He carries numerous copies of a newspaper, the Colorado Patriot. Where can I find Sheriff Daisy? The sheriff, not the mayor. Man, my memory.
Oh, Marshall Station, right over there. You can't miss the pillories out front.
Okay, it's up the stairs from the... okay. You report the news around here.
Yep. I work for the Colorado Patriot. Only newspaper left in America. We tell people what's happening in the city and what they should think about it.
That sounds like a useful service. We hear there's been some trouble.
Sure has. Dorsey's got into the city, but nobody knows how. They started shooting up the place and killed a lot of people. Then they made a run at the Patriarch's palace. Oh, but they couldn't get inside. It took a while, but Sheriff Daisy and the marshals beat him back. Now they're holed up in the Garden of the Gods. Well, some of them, anyway. Others jumped in their trucks and ran for it.
And what do you know about these Dorseys?
Just what I've been told. Back before I was born, they were the family that betrayed the Patriarch and tried to take charge of Colorado. The thing is, everybody thought they'd been dead for years. I mean, there's tons of stories about how the Patriarch wiped them all out. Be careful. Might still be Dorsey's hiding out in the city.
All right, let's keep looking around. So now we know where the sheriff is. I think going to the sheriff is going to be one of our last options here. So hold on. Can we persuade a friendly animal to follow you? Can I just like interact with the cat? Okay, it automatically does charm. Okay, cool. I guess we're collecting strays. I mean, it in both literal and metaphorical senses. So, there's a marshal station here. Are they going to be upset with me for approaching? The young guard's face is nervous but determined. He steps forward as you approach, holding his hand up.
By order of the Patriarch, only authorized personnel are to pass this gate.
Do you know for sure that I'm not authorized? What kind of authorization do we need?
An invitation from the head of a family or authorization from the Patriarch. Until you have that, the gate stays closed.
And why is the gate closed?
The attack on the city has everyone nervous. Until that's all settled down, Patriarch's orders are in effect. Authorized business only.
And what is through the gate?
Broadmoor Heights and the Patriarch's palace.
He clearly feels his job does not include expansive descriptions. Well, I think I get the gist of it.
Good day.
Through the gate is all the people we actually care about. Oh, hold on now.
Would I even keep a shotgun around if I don't use it?
Do you know
Oh, he's not aiming that at her.
Josiah? They're Dorseys. They won't be scared of a scrawny old man.
A scrawny old man with a shotgun? Hang on, I'm not that old.
Oh, Josiah, just put down the gun and let someone else handle this, all right?
Consarn it. You Dorsey peckerheads, get on out of there.
The old man is shouting into the nearby shop and waving a shotgun around. It looks to me like he's maybe a little overmatched by the problem.
Hush up now, Josiah. You can't go in there alone. They'll kill you.
You think I can't handle myself? I've put down worse than these in my time.
Oh, since when? You've been a shopkeeper all your life.
And she notices you. An expression of relief crosses her face.
Will you help me talk some sense into this old fool? If he goes after those Dorseys, he'll get himself killed.
Yeah, sorry, what's going on here?
Some of those Dorsey bastards are hiding out in my shop. My shop! Finest clothing store in the whole dang town. So I'm going in after them.
That feels unwise. Why don't you just ask the marshals for help?
They're too busy. Besides, a man should be able to protect his own shop.
Sure, in theory, but you gotta be able to, like, mechanically... Okay. You want some help killing Dorseys? We're in. We got some feelings about Dorseys.
Finally, someone with some spine. I'd do it all myself, but since you're new in town, I figured you'd need to show your mettle.
Josiah, don't you do this. Let these people handle it. They've had plenty of experience by the look of them.
That's right. We all look definitely stone cold and not even a little bit silly.
Well, I'm ready when you are.
Ignoring his wife, he raises his shotgun. I really wish he would stay outside. Look, we'll handle this ourselves. You just stay here, man.
Thank you. Keep an old man from killing himself, will you?
Killing myself? Can't you pretend to have some faith in me, Martha? Especially in front of these soldier types?
He shakes his head, then turns to you.
You do this, you'll get a nice discount at the shop. Assuming I still have a shop by the time it's all over. Well, go on then.
Okay, I get it. Try not to destroy the entire shop. I think we can probably do that. Do we want to just heal up a little bit real quick? We have a lot of med hypos. Let's just go ahead and top ourselves off. Oh, interesting. Okay, so your strike ability is different. Do the different weapon types... You also have Torrent Strike. I wonder if that's based on the equipped weapon, or... Yeah, seems like it is. Leap and slam the ground, sending out a stunning shockwave around you. I mean, that sounds like just magic. That's just actual magic. Hey, Quan, you get to be first through the door? No, probably Brass.
Shit, Hotlanders! We thought you was all dead. Back off!
Okay, well, I was gonna say, I'm not 100% opposed to attempting to resolve this peacefully, but it looks like we do not, in fact, have the option of speaking to them. It also kind of looks like the fight hasn't really started yet, and we're allowed to position a little bit, maybe. I mean, Brass is inside this dude's detection circle, right? I don't know. I guess they're going to let us just walk in and set up. I'm going to do it. Let's get to cover-type positions here. Alright, the mannequin's very attractive. Oh, no, okay, we saw his... Yeah, Brass is totally inside his circle. I'm not sure why... Alright, well, I'm gonna put you right there. Jim gets to come in. Let's put him over hereabouts. This'll be the area where the cats live. These two both want to be a little closer.
Don't come any closer.
I mean, we would first of all, the Dorseys seem like a real problem for us in a general long-term sense. Secondly, my bet is the marshals will like us better if we actually kill these guys. So, as much as I usually like to try to talk through all problems in these kinds of games, I think I might want to roleplay myself in a slightly different direction here. I'm kind of curious, though, if we can set up a situation where we can get a better drop on them. Hey, just cool down, guys. We just want to talk.
No way! God,
okay.
Fuckers.
No, the answer is no. That dude just ran over and shanked me. Well, he's like mega dead. That is not going to work. Okay. Get him, cats. They're helping. Actually, between the two of them, that's a fair amount of damage.
They have us at a disadvantage.
Oh. Alright, Jim, calm down. So, Ringer probably ought to med pack himself. 3 AP. Alright, and then do we want to just... Oh, the shotgun is always a cone fire weapon. You don't have to do a special thing for it. Alright, well, I'm going to step forward just a little bit here and try to get a slightly better shot. So, this is going to damage cover, or... Yeah, let's see what this does to their table. Okay, it didn't damage cover, and it didn't damage one of them. I don't know exactly why. I think I'm going to have him just defend rather than banking the point. Alright, what do we got against these guys? Very, very poor numbers. Obviously, it helps if I'm pressed against a table for some reason. I mean, do we want to just take it? 7 to 10, 9 times. So we only have to hit with 2 or 3 shots here, which is actually not that far outside of expected value. I'm going to go for it. Okay, we only needed to get a little bit lucky there, and we totally did. Now this feels like a situation where we could just have Jim put this guy the hell away. And then we do have Precision Strike available. I can't actually shoot that guy, though. I wonder, can I just hold Precision Strike? Let's hope so. Alright, and then you two with the rifles. Let's consider our options here. Well, apparently, that guy's not really even that hard to hit. Alright, let's go help ourselves before we report what happened. Just some scrap. Okay. And then also, heavy machine gun, some 7.62. Oh no, that's 5.56. I don't think we have any guns to use that right now. My dude, are you going to be okay? Minus 12% con per turn, huh? Seems like you could use a little bit of an assist. See, look at all this doctrine. Alright, is there anything else around here that we want to interact with before we let them know the situation's resolved? Alright, money in some tin cans.
That will do. Thank you.
See, Jim knows when his teammates are helping out. He's not afraid to give him credit. The medical crate seems pretty good. We do not have lockpicking 5. Okay, that stuff's fine. You know, probably it's for the best. We confiscate all this ammo. You can never tell what that shopkeeper might do with it. He could hurt himself. It's really like a totally altruistic action here. Okay, I think we've gotten everything there is to get. Problem resolved.
Boy, thanks again for taking care of those Dorseys. Say, if you got hurt in that scrap, you should see a friend of mine, Doc Parker. He set up a clinic in the Arapahoe garage, just outside the city gate.
He gestures down the road to the north.
And here, a little token of our appreciation. Come on back after we reopen the shop.
Okay, not too bad. We did end up spending some health resources, which is maybe not 100% ideal. So, can I transfer a cat? Or, like, am I allowed to have multiple cats? Let's see what happens here. Oh, I didn't... The text did not say on the screen for long enough, but I'm assuming it was basically you could only have one cat each. Alright, well that's fine. Snappin' Jimmy Bob.
Snappin' Jimmy Bob's still standing. Dorsey's or no Dorsey's. You think a little raid would stop snapping Jimmy Bob? No siree. Oh, hey! New faces? Let me know if you need to restock. I hear there's still some Dorseys in the city.
Where is this dude getting bananas? What's your story, Jimmy Bob?
That's snapping Jimmy Bob, thank you.
Oh, of course, how rude of me. What's your story, snappin' Jimmy Bob?
Not that much to tell. My dad was a trader, and a good one. And now I'm a trader, and a good one. Might seem boring to wandering muscle like yourself, but I like it.
What is this contraption over here on the end of your stall?
Oh, that's my prized possession. A genuine pre-apocalypse fully
apparently not this.
I can cook up some truly gourmet delicacies with it. But the damn power got cut in the fighting. It'll take the city weeks to fix it.
Now see, this looks like the kind of thing we might be able to help with. Let's trade. Let's see what the trading interface looks like. Alright, so our dude has Snickers. That's just straight up. It's not quite the right image, because the colors are weird, but yeah, those are just straight up actual food from the real world. Now here's how you avoid copyright infringement. Just throw a question mark on the end. So we have a couple of weapon moddable parts. What do you have? You do have at least 2. She might have 3 points. So we could actually make use of these things. Unfortunately, they're fairly expensive, and we really don't have that much cash left. But I do have a whole lot of garbage. Never mind, we have some cash left. Was that really it? So, machine turrets, self-destructs after combat has ended, some decoys, just like a whole lot of bullets. Alright, so this is the one to look out for. This is the one that we have an awful lot of weapons all competing for. Cryocell linkage. Weapon mod underbarrel converts to cold damage. Reduces the damage versus metal stuff and dramatically increases it against humans. That seems pretty good. And apparently we have the 4 weapon modding necessary to use it. Oh, $742. Never mind. That's a frozen ferret? You would shoot it at the... How is that aim? What kind of gun are you going to use that's going to... Okay. Brygo's Big Vegas brand premium cigar. Smoke to gain plus 10% crit chance for 36 turns. Oh yeah? That's strange. I guess that's just the effect that smoking has. Huh. So penetration and damage... Range 1 meter. I guess, for a shotgun, that's maybe kind of a big deal. Also, it says right there are flamethrowers in the game, so that's exciting. Just bonus range. So scopes do not necessarily give you any better aim, which is pretty unusual. And this gives us a little bit of bonus critical damage. It doesn't feel to me like a lot of these are worth the money. This one does. We could put tape grips on the glass knucks, maybe? Although, to be perfectly honest with you, maybe we want to wait until we have some weapons that are a little bit better. Things that we're not likely to replace as soon. Yeah, we'll probably hold off. So, food just restores health, and not like a lot of health. Okay. I don't think we actually want anything from him. But selling our junk is nice. So what is this thing that's glowing over here? We have no ability to actually fix the microwave. Can Brass, take a look at it, or... Huh. When we pulled the switch, it looked like it... For some reason, it sends an electrical signal through the ground? Hold on a second. What exactly is going on over here? Also, snowballs? The snowdrift is just the right balance of density and wetness to pack snowballs. What does a snowball do if it's not soaked in urine? I guess let's have a look. Applies frozen. Wow. It seems like frozen would maybe be a big deal. Maybe be a very powerful thing for a snowball to apply. And we got maybe a potential situation brewing over here. If people want to perhaps join me. Huh. I tried to... There we go. I'm trying to box select my group so everybody actually comes over here. Are we going to get in trouble if we just get in a fight in the middle of the street? It feels to me like we probably will. Let's not interrupt those guys just yet, then. So the little trail from the electricity thing did lead over here. We're just going to not worry about that for a moment. What else is there to find around here? It turns out a lot of people died. It was actually like a really brutal attack. The bodies of fallen marshals and citizens have been arranged for pickup and proper burial.
Did you see the Dorseys almost blow up the statue?
Yeah, I was hiding under the bookseller's stall. Marshall stopped him at the last second.
Wouldn't be Market Square without it.
I mean, I guess it's pretty flattering as far as statues go.
Jesus, loaves and fishes, Christ! That's a bomb under my stall, ain't it?
Oh, shit, Taiwan. God, it is.
We best stay back.
That sounds very fixable.
Holy mackerel! Better stay back from my stall. Those goddamn Dorseys dropped a landmine under it.
You know, I'll see what I can do.
God, you'd be doing me a shell of a favor.
You got a real strange way of speaking there, Taiwan Jones. Alright, well, I probably want somebody who's got, like, good perception to walk up there first, because I don't actually see the mine. There it is. Turns out it's actually quite easy to solve. And Brass bravely keeps her entire massive body between the explosive and all of the civilians here.
Flipper and Marshals to take care of the dang bomb under my stall.
Yeah, no, it's good. I defused it.
Really? That's great news. Here's a little something for you. I'm back in business.
I think we're doing a good job making a decent impression here in town.
Welcome to the freshly reopened Taiwan Jones's Emporium. We have everything you need, just for the asking and, well, the paying. You didn't hear this from me, Franz, but word is there's still Dorseys all around the city waiting to jump innocents such as yourself. Be sure to stock up with me, yeah?
That's us, innocents. Hey, what's with all the constant ocean puns?
I have no idea what you're talking about, Franz.
I don't know if they're all ocean puns, because, like, that's just plants right there. Alright, why don't you tell me about yourself?
You want to hear about the wide open seas, my trusty vessel, the wild waves crashing the shores? Well, sorry, chums. I'm just here to sell stuff. What would you like?
I'm not going to ask. My guess is she's not going to like this fish question. I'm just going to ask to see the stuff. Okay. I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that. Okay, this is a lot of stuff. So 20 to 29 damage. Can I compare this easily to the thing you have? What are you currently equipped with? Oh, this one has an ability attached to it and everything. So wait, I have a failed requirement penalty. Oh, okay. We're 1 point of small arms short. That's definitely fixable. This might be worth spending a considerable amount of our money on. That's just a flamethrower. It does use flamethrower fuel. And, interestingly, it's a big gun, not a weird science weapon, which is what I was expecting a flamethrower would be. Well, that's a little shame. There's some interesting stuff here. Definitely have a place to turn in an awful lot of cash once we get a hold of a little bit more cash. I'm not going to make any big purchases right now. Nailbox brawling weapon. Special delivery, it's tetanus. And then it has a heavy attack. So, like, our current brawling weapon, I have to imagine, is pretty weak. It's interesting that it's comparing it to his shotgun rather than the brawling weapon that he's equipped with. I guess it's just going to be whatever you have currently selected. It's not smart enough to try to compare like to like. Alright, well, we know where the weapon shop is. Like I said, let's not actually buy anything right now. We will come back when we have more money, because I'm sure all of the good stuff is out of our price range for the moment. And I think, unfortunately, that we are out of time for today. So we've gotten ourselves dug into the community a little bit. People like us, people trust us. The feral cats that are running around seem to be okay with our presence, which is about all you can ask from a cat. And when you come back next time, tomorrow, we're going to finally talk to the sheriff and maybe actually do a quest. And we'll see you then.